The Messi and Ronaldo comparison has been an ever-going, heated conversation between football fans all around the world over the past 2 decades. Every footballing discussion is incomplete without settling for the GOAT of the game, and the options usually narrow down to either the Argentinian magician or the Portuguese miracle worker. Well guys, in all honesty, comparison destroys football. But since you have already raised the question that might as well end up waging war, then let us dig deep and answer it. So, has Lionel Messi cemented himself as the greatest of all time? The answer is maybe. Yes, the World Cup win has ensured a lot of confidence among Messi's fan base, but so did Maradona win it for Argentina. As a matter of fact, the Brazilian legend Pelé won not 1, not 2, but 3 World Cups, which is a crazy stat, something we may not witness in football anymore. Lastly comes in Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi's all-time biggest rival, competitor, foe, and friend. Maradona and Pelé might have their silverware, but Ronaldo exceeds Messi in the most important stat in football, which is goals, with the Portuguese scoring 827 times in his professional career, while Messi has 804. These numbers surely rival Messi's claim to the throne as the greatest football player of all time, but we must not get too shabby. Unfortunately for the rest, Messi has 7 Ballon d'Ors to his name, with the 8th one possibly on the way. Now, this is an achievement no football player has ever replicated, and neither will they ever dare so. So, is Messi the greatest of all time? Let us compare him one by one with possible competitors. Starting with Maradona. Perhaps the biggest insecurity of Lionel's career was that he would never be respected by the Argentinian people, as much as they loved and adored Diego Maradona. You can be good or you can be the best player in the world, but at the end of the day, we remember the national heroes that bring glory to us, and that is exactly what Messi was insecure about. They deemed Maradona as the god fallen from the sky to bring golden glory and gratitude to Argentina, while Messi worked really hard winning the Copa de America for Argentina. People would always remember Diego winning them the World Cup and Messi achieving a not-so-prestigious South American Cup. At last, Messi decided to redeem himself after the 2014 World Cup failure in the final, coming so close yet so far away from the golden prize. At the end of the day, people will look back and remember the 2022 Argentine World Cup victory, not only because it was a great moment for the country, but an overall great moment for one of the best players of all time. Messi brought himself level with Maradona and arguably exceeded him. Well, if we speak the truth, statistically there was hardly any comparison, except for the World Cup of course. Messi has more than 10 league titles over the course of his career, compared to Maradona's 3. Let alone the different several continental cups that Messi has achieved, such as the Copa del Rey over the length of his career, compared to Maradona's poor numbers when it came to winning silverware. Lastly, the one that pretty much settles the argument is the factor that Maradona had never won the European title for someone who is in contention for being the greatest of all time. Messi, of course, on the other hand, did not settle for the minimum and won the UEFA Champions League a total of 4 times. Messi ranks second for trophies achieved in general behind Dani Alves, with the former having 42 and the Brazilian having 43. Diego Maradona, on the other hand, achieved only 11. Stylistically, there was not much difference. Both shared similar characteristics such as stronger left foot, unique ball control, and insane dribbling ability. Neither of them preferred the fancy step-over move, but worked well through body feints and effective dribbles. So, what about the difference between them? Well, Maradona was an excellent forward. Messi, on the other hand, is an excellent football player who is more complete, versatile, and technically proficient. What about Pelé? Pelé has a fair argument of being the greatest player of all time, given the number of goals he has claimed to score combined with the fact that he has 3 World Cups to his name compared to Messi's 1. However, to dive deep into this discussion, we need to understand that these are 2 entirely different and polar opposite eras of football. Pelé was without a doubt a lethal and terrifying goal scorer, but rumors and fans suggest the Brazilian played in an era of football where the offside rule was not exactly very clear. We mean, how else would he have scored 3,000 goals? That is ridiculous. Apart from these arguments, the footballing quality back in the 1950s and 1960s was pretty sluggish, with some players and teams proving too strong and unequal for their opponents. which made it easier to score 6 to 7 goals per game. Don't get us wrong, we're not taking anything from the remarkable Brazilian squad, but partly why they won so much is because their opponents did not match their technical, physical, and tactical side of the game. This is why the comparison does not make sense, because Messi, on the other hand, has played in an insanely competitive era of football, with keen tactical advancement, different roles such as the false nine, inside winger, and interior midfielders. Not to mention how hard it is to score goals against a pressing team with a modern goalkeeper. Despite all of that, Messi has more than 800 goals along with the most assists recorded in the history of football. It's just beyond the capabilities of a human. We mean, you're one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, and at the same instant, you are inarguably the greatest goal creator in the history of the game. This is totally nuts, which is why Messi will always be superior to any forward in the world. Cristiano Ronaldo. Lastly, the one person who was not as gifted as Messi, yet went toe-to-toe with him throughout the course of 2 years. The one who battled Messi for Ballon d'Ors and the possible individual awards, and most importantly, the guy who has more goals than Messi himself. So, the question arises, can Messi call himself the greatest of all time in a world where Ronaldo exists? The answer is yes, he can. While Ronaldo is beyond exceptional and has won 5 Ballon d'Ors while scoring more goals, Messi has always been 5 steps ahead of him. Nothing to take away from Cristiano, perhaps this would have been way closer if he had never left Real Madrid. But with everything that Ronaldo has to his name, Messi does too, and in superiority. Ronaldo might have more goals, but Messi is only a couple behind and will be looking forward to taking that record for himself. While Ronaldo is acclaimed as the greatest goal scorer of all time, it wasn't the Portuguese that scored 91 goals in a calendar year, but it was Messi. Yes, you heard that right, 91 goals in a year. That is more than some football clubs score in 2 years combined. Lionel Messi also has more golden boots than Ronaldo does, more La Ligas, more trophies, more individual honors, more assists, and most importantly, more World Cups than Ronaldo. Well, World Cup or no World Cup, Messi has always been the greatest of all time ever since he stepped on the scene for Barcelona. Even in arguments, what Messi has achieved in football will always bring him out on the top. However, this World Cup win was nothing but a comparison destroyer. Messi was always the greatest player of all time, and thankfully this World Cup has abolished all further arguments that other players oppose, because the little magician in Messi has completed football and hence cemented himself as the GOAT.